Old sayings have a way of coming around again through time, over again. Biting off more than you can chew happens to be one that I can recall that may apply here. This is my editorial on Bud Crawford, who seems to be crumbling at the edges. Let's talk. When you speak of Terrence Bud Crawford, the current WBO welterweight champion of the world, enigmatic is a word that describes him, sums him up in a nutshell. The enigmatic Terrence Bud Crawford, we're talking about someone who is difficult to interpret or understand, all the while trying to be mysterious. As we've been waiting to hear an announcement for the fight that was proposed between he and Errol Spence Jr. for the undisputed welterweight title, a fight that the entire boxing world is highly anticipating, there's a dark cloud that overshadows the possibility of this fight taking place. And as quiet as it's kept, it may have everything to do with Terrence Bud Crawford and the mysteries that are surrounding him and his career. Salute to Blue Blood Sports TV, who dropped a bombshell late last night, early this morning, speaking about the court proceedings where Crawford has not followed through and followed up on the alleged lawsuit against Arum and Top Rank. And Arum, who has no loyalties here, has been known to reveal some things, whether everything is 100% fact or whether it's just putting information out into the manosphere where we can find out that there's always something going on behind the scenes. But it still falls on Crawford, who may have outsmarted himself with the moves that he has decided to make in his career. Though most of the welterweights of prominence could be found in the PBC stable, Crawford elected to go a different route. He elected to go with Top Rank, signing with them a couple of times and not being able to get the fights that he has professed that he truly wanted. But at the same time, the actions didn't follow suit. PBC, which housed a number of the welterweights that could have really made his career solid by facing these fighters: Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, who was a late addition to PBC after leaving Top Rank himself. Crawford always seemed to be given the position that he's smarter than someone else, or he's just different. But this is the thing about making moves like that. In a sport like boxing, there is a brotherhood here, and there are certain responsibilities that you have and obligations in order for things to manifest and go correctly. You do sometimes have to go along to get along. This is something that he has not done. And we're seeing the residuals now, the fallout effect. I do not expect anything from the Spence camp to come about stating why this fight has not been announced yet. And given the class and dignity in which Spence has always handled himself, it wouldn't be until some finalized circumstances come about where he may make a slight comment and keep it moving forward, as he has been known to do. But Crawford is the one who's going to have to answer for this. The negligence in which he has made moves and not taken any accountability in slowing up the process of his own advancement. There are fighters in the sport who focus on fighting. They allow their promoters and managers to handle their jobs, and they go about their business. There are fighters in the sport who focus on their purses and their image, and there are fighters in the sport who focus on legacy, how to build it, how to respect the sport and themselves. This is not every man, but across the board, these are the variables that you find when fighters at the top of the sport have choices to make. It seems that Crawford has been making a number of bad choices. And if the rumors are true of alliances with certain people that may not yet totally disclose, but eventually get disclosed, are a detriment to the sport, he himself will only have himself to blame. Now, we hope that there is a silver lining and that the fight that everyone is anticipating can be made. But we're not so certain that this may be the case. And that would be a shame, because once before in history, when the two best at the welterweight division faced off, it happened to be Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard for that undisputed time that they faced off. Never in the sport do we get what we want fully. We often get bits and pieces, crumbs. It's really up to the fighters to deliver in this aspect. And I think this is where Crawford is failing. He once had my full support simply because of how I support the fight, the game, the fighters. But now my love for the sport is really tapping out. And I think that other people are beginning to feel the same way. It's not every man, but it's happening enough in the sport that it causes you to take pause. Look into this for yourself, people. Look into what's going on behind the scenes and take note. Because that dark cloud that persists over the sport of boxing, it's covering a lot of real estate. And you would be mindful to inform yourself so that you'll know how to place your alliances and loyalties. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know, what do you think of this editorial? Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.